chemistry. And the one thing about Antonio Brown on the field and why this is such a massive loss, he can get open against man. He can get open against zone. He understands the game as well as anybody, and he makes it very easy on quarterbacks. So the loss of that is going to be tough to figure out and find. But I do think if they get Fournette back from that soft tissue, they still have an opportunity. I am not taking anything away from Tom Brady, Gronkowski, Evans, and whoever else, whether it's Grayson, whoever else steps in that role. I think that the key here, though, is getting Fournette back. And I just think, listen, he can do it all. He's a 3-down back. He can be physical. And in the playoffs, he averaged over 100 yards and a touchdown a game. You need that type of productivity. He has to get back for them the chance. But I do believe Tom Brady will win another Super Bowl. Maybe, I'm not sure this year again, but I think he's still got enough in him to get one done.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm alone on this island probably. You can cut this clip and get it ready for Man in the Arena Part 2. And put it out there when he wins another Super Bowl, because I think he's done. Like, the man has 7 Super Bowls. And also the one that they won last year, like, I would never go as far as to say winning a Super Bowl was lucky. It wasn't lucky, but, like, they got a lot of breaks in their direction. And Tom Brady is going to continue to need these breaks. And at some point, we don't say Father Time is undefeated because it sounds cute. We say it's because it's true. So if he's going to have 3-4 more years, which is a stretch of this top-level performance, you also need a defense to stand up, which it doesn't look like that defense is going to be able to do this year. You're also going to need some offensive guys to step up and make plays throughout the course of the playoffs, and it doesn't seem like they're going to have those guys. Like Evans coming back off of a soft tissue injury, you're not going to get him at full speed. Same thing for Leonard Fournette. I do think that we have to accept that Tom Brady's made getting to and winning Super Bowls look easy. It is freaking hard.
Yeah.
Jeff, you know, but I know it even better than you because I don't have none. Like, things have to work out in your favor over and over and over again. And I think Tom Brady is outstanding, but I don't think he's magic. Like, at some point, this has to run out, and I think that we are at that point. If not, I'm going to be in Man in the Arena.
Some people may say Tom Brady is magic, though, I would say.
I'm gonna put you in that Max Kellerman category. You better be careful. Don't write off Tom Brady quite. He's still thrown the ball more than anybody else in the NFL this year. He has almost 5,000 yards again. He has continued to produce. And I do believe Todd Bowles, I will say this, I do believe Todd Bowles can get this and piece this defense together enough to bide time in the playoffs. I'm telling you, if Fournette comes back, do not underestimate how good the Buccaneers can be. This team is still good, and Tom Brady gets the best out of the guys around him, whether it's Gronkowski, Evans, Godwin, Antonio Brown. You can keep naming the list. Edelman, you can go all the way back to New England. Keep naming guys, right? Wes Welker. He will find ways. It's just a matter of time. How quickly can he build that chemistry, Fox? Like, this dude, I'm not saying he's magic, but he is very productive at getting the most of the guys around him. That's the key to winning Super Bowls, because to your point, it requires all 3 phases. I think he gets the most out of every phase and will continue to do that.
Yeah, but I mean, I think building a dynasty and repeating a Super Bowl, part of the reason we thought they were going to do it was because they brought everybody back. And I also kind of think that is not how you do it. That's not how they did it in New England. Like, you can make a short run with a similar roster, but you're going to have to find a way to continue to rebuild that roster. And while I think that Tom Brady obviously is capable of winning a Super Bowl outside of New England and outside of that Belichick infrastructure, the way that they run their team, the way that they build their team, the way that they coach their team, I think that part of the reason why we respect Belichick so much is that he was able to do it over and over and over again. I'm not sure that what they're doing down there with Light and Arians, I'm not sure that they've shown. No, I'm not going to say I'm not sure. I know that they have not shown the ability to do that. We don't know if they can. Maybe they can. But we have to accept that winning a Super Bowl is really hard to do. And it's not outrageous for me to say that a nearly 45-year-old man who's won 7 Super Bowls is not going to win anymore. Like, that's not a slight on Tom Brady. He's still fantastic. I see it. You see it. But it's so hard to do. Teams,
they're 1 for 1.
Not quarterbacks. Right. They're 1 for 1. They won Super Bowl last year.
Yeah, they're 1 for 1. And you're like, I'm writing them off. They're in the playoffs. They've clinched. If they don't have the injuries, they're still going to be up there with Green Bay and having that same conversation. They're sitting in the same seat they were last year, having to go to Green Bay, have to do all those same things. Like you're going to write. I mean, I'm not saying they will, but I'm saying that you just go. They can't do it because of White and Arians. You haven't given them even an opportunity. They're 1 for 1 of doing it with an opportunity of doing 2 for 2.
Nobody does what they did in New York.
Listen,
I'm not writing them off. I'm just writing in probability, common sense. I'm writing in the rest of the NFL, like how hard I'm writing in how difficult it is to do. Like, I don't think it's impossible. I just think it's exceedingly unlikely that Tom Brady in the next 3 years, we're going to say 3 years before his talent starts to decline, like that might be a stretch. I'm just saying that combined with putting together a team, having the injury luck, having everything break in your direction, like that is part of winning a Super Bowl. You and the Colts should have won a lot more Super Bowls than you did, given the talent and production that you had. But things didn't always break your way. I don't understand how you are in this situation and you can look at them and say, oh, it's going to all break in their way again this year, like it did last year, like it did 6 other times for Tom Brady. Like at some point, it's not going to work out. And I think being away from Belichick and the infrastructure, it may not cost them in the immediate, like short term as far as last year is concerned, but it will cost them in the way that they build this team going forward. Or cost Brady.
Yeah, I think when you look at their defense, man, like they've had some unfortunate injuries from the beginning of the season. I think they can overcome those once the playoffs are here. Like you said, they're 3 hours until it's showtime. Tom Brady performs under pressure as well as anybody. You give him a slight chance, he's going to take full advantage of it. Just ask the Jets last week, and you think about what this guy has done. That defense, if they get the one stop, I just trust Todd Bowles. I think when you look at the totality of their coaching staff with Bruce Arians, Clyde Christensen, Tom Brady, I do believe, I'm not saying that they're going to be the same dynasty because of length of time, but to say that they couldn't do the same in a short span of time, I disagree. I think this team is still very tough, a very tough out because of the way they placed it. I do think they have a good roster. I think Light's done they got a great offensive line, good skill guys. One went crazy and jumped off at halftime. The other one tore his ACL. But this team was still set up from a roster perspective as almost as good as anybody in the league, man. They can continue to put that thing together.
Well, even at this point, after everything that has happened this season, Tampa Bay still has the 3rd best odds to win the Super Bowl at 14%. But ladies and gentlemen, I just want to wrap this segment by saying that Domonique Foxworth, the man on your screen, is betting against Tom Brady.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.